Hello and welcome to My MMA Mobile, the show. My name is Lou. This is Todd.
What's up?
And this week we start off the show with Top of the 10, where we'll take a look back at UFC 112.
Also on the breakdown, Strikeforce, April 17th. We'll go over the matchups and possible outcomes.
Then we'll go ahead and take a look at Move of the Week to give you that little extra something you need when you're on the mat.
Finally, Local Fighter Spotlight. We'll check out a local fighter who's coming up in the MMA world.
All this and more on this week's episode of My MMA Mobile, the show. Now it's time for Top of the 10. UFC 112. What happened? After UFC 112, there's a new evil villain in the UFC, Anderson Silva. His lackluster performance against Demian Maia left everyone with questions like, why didn't he just finish Maia if he could have? I don't know. Will you pay for another UFC main event headlined by Silva? And who's next for the guy? I want to know who's going to be fighting next.
Well, even though Silva is one of my favorite fighters since Pride days, I still think he could have did a little bit more. He showed a lot of different styles. He showed the Machida style. He showed the Capoeira style. He showed the, the Drunken Master style. But, he should have did just a little bit more to finish the fight.
I'm with you, partner. We'll have to see. Just recent news shows that he's going to be fighting Chael Sonnen. And we'll see what type of matchup that turns out to be. I personally think that Anderson Silva is going to have his way with Chael. But we'll see what happens. Good luck, Chael. Now we have the new lightweight champion, Frankie Edgar, with the big upset of the night by defeating BJ the Legend Penn by unanimous decision. But did Edgar do enough to take the title? In my opinion, I don't think he did. And what's up with that score? 45-50? I don't know. What do you think, Todd?
I think that it was a very close fight, but I think that he eked out the fight. You know what I mean? He made BJ look a little different, as far as different looks. He feinted a lot, and I think he came out with the win.
Yeah, the rematch is scheduled to be August 28th in Boston. We'll have to see what the outcome is of that fight. Good luck, Penn. Now that brings us to Matt Hughes versus Gracie. Matt Hughes defeats Gracie with the second round TKO. What could have Gracie done different to have won the fight, Todd?
Well, I think he could have just changed up his game a little bit, had an overall game as far as his stand-up, and a little bit more of wrestling skills to try and take him down.
Right. Now, Matt Hughes waves off retirement. Does he have a legitimate chance at the championship, Todd?
I don't think so, because of the fact that he has to go through some of these young bucks. You got Diego Sanchez, and you got John Fitch. He's really got to get through those kind of guys.
Great. So we'll see what happens next on that fight. Okay. Now on to Bellator news. Roger El Matador Huerta bullies through the first round of the tournament to move on to the next round. Also, Georgi
Karakanian
gets a second round TKO over Balquach.
Hey, what about that somersault with Roger Huerta, man?
That was crazy.
And then that flying knee by Georgi Karakanian.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Awesome.
Next, on to Strikeforce news. Matt the Law Linlin will headline Strikeforce Challengers May 21st. And Justin Bobby Lashley pulled out of April 17th's event on CBS due to some nasal surgery. And that
is the top of the 10.
It's time for the 2-minute breakdown. April 17th, Strikeforce live on CBS. Main cards are Dan Henderson versus Jake Shields, Musashi versus King Mo, and Shinji Aoki versus Gilbert Melendez. Who has the most weapons? Possible outcomes, and last but not least, our picks.
Okay, let's break down Hendo and Shields. Okay, as far as weapons, Dan has more weapons. He's knocked out top-notch competitors.
Of course.
Bisping, Vanderlei Silva, and basically he's got an Olympic wrestling background. So Shields is not going to be able to kind of control him like he did Jason Miller. My pick is Hendo. What do you think?
I'm with you. I think Hendo has far more experience than Jake Shields. I think he's going to be able to control the fight a little bit more. Jake Shields is going to try to do some jitsu on him. But Hendo has more punching power, which is going to give him the win.
Next, we got Musashi versus King Mo.
That's a good one.
Let's see. Weapons goes to Mousasi. He's got 7 professional kickboxing matches,
Okay.
undefeated, and he's got 31 MMA fights, 2 losses, 1 draw.
Nice.
Okay. King Mo, 6 wins, no losses, but he's a little new. He's an athletic specimen, and he does pose a threat to anybody who he fights.
Right.
But I think basically it's going to go to Mousasi just because of his experience.
Right.
What do you think?
I'm with you. I think Mousasi is going to take this fight for 2 reasons. 1, he has way more experience. 2, he trains with Fedor Emelianenko. On the other hand, King Mo does have the opportunity to catch him slipping and get a quick knockout. But overall, I think this fight's going to go to Mousasi.
Finally, Aoki versus Melendez.
That's the one I'm waiting for.
Yeah. Aoki has far more weapons.
Right.
Okay. But the truth is, I feel that American fighters have that structure. Case in point, we got Kin Flo versus Gomi.
Yeah.
Gomi had a lot of wild punches, and Kin Flo just stayed in that structure. I think that's the way the fight's going to be with Melendez.
I think different. I think Aoki has far too many weapons, and if Melendez leaves a limb out, it's coming off because Aoki's going to take it off. He's going to take one of them limbs home. So I'm taking it's probably going to go maybe 3rd round submission by Aoki. Hopefully we gave you the right picks, and possibly if you're betting, you come out on top. Good luck, guys.
Can't watch the fights? Get the latest MMA upcoming events, fight results, headline news, and much more for free. Text MyMMA Mobile to 69302. It's fun, fast, and free.
Every episode of MyMMA Mobile, we bring you Move of the Week with Jeff Frater. This is to give you a little bit of edge next time you're on that mat. Let's check it out.
Okay guys, from the half guard, we're going to take his back and put him in a really bad position. I'm going to take this arm and go underneath his neck. Before he's able to push this arm across, this hand reaches thumb down and grabs, and now I have the leverage to actually lift him off of me. I lift. Now, from here, before he can drive back down, I go underneath his armpit and grab again. Now it's going to be hard for him to push my arm across because I'm holding on both hands. And while he's pushing or trying to push, this arm shoots through. I hit his head, and at the time I hit his head, this hand grabs this arm. I go for a Kimura here. While I go for a Kimura, I step with my left foot and hip out facing him, driving his elbow to the mat. From this plane here, he's going to feel the need to roll. Before he does that, I put this hook in. When I put that hook in, I pull his arm out and I go deep underneath his neck and grab his shoulder and pull him close to me. The arm that I attacked the Kimura was just a ploy to get his arm between himself and me, and now the ground. He can't pull his arm out. He's going to try to block the choke. When he blocks the choke, I go deep underneath, 5-finger grip, force his arm down with my left arm. I step over with both, with his arm and my arm, with my left leg, and I pull out my left arm. Now his arm is trapped between his body and my leg, and I just go for the choke, and he has no way to tap, or no way to block the choke, and he'll have to tap.
Finally, we got the local fighter spotlight, where we're going to interview Jamar Big City Ocampo for his first debut. Check it out. We're here with Jamar Big City Ocampo, and basically we're going to ask him a few questions here with the local fighter spotlight. Where are you from?
I was actually born in Honduras, but I moved to Southern California when I was like a baby.
What made you get into fighting?
I was taking some police and fire academy classes at Mount Sac, and from there I actually jumped into a jiu-jitsu class just for fun, and I fell in love with it right away.
Well, thanks for taking time out of your schedule to talk with us. And is there anybody you wanted to thank?
Yeah, definitely. I wanted to thank Millennia Fight Team for getting me ready for this fight, and all my other great sponsors. Thank you.
Thanks for watching this week's episode of MyMMA Mobile, the show.
We want to give a big shout out to Jamar Big City Ocampo. Good luck on your fight.
Also, we'd like to thank Jeff Frater for giving us the move of the week, giving us that little bit of edge next time you're out on that mat.
And everybody, don't forget, tell all your friends to text MyMMA to 69302 or go to the website, MyMMAmobile.com.
That does it for this week's episode of MyMMA Mobile,
the show.